Hi, my name is Andy Falco, and I'm going to show you a basic bluegrass rhythm. And the way that I usually show this is I teach it in like a three-stage lesson. And it's really easy, but I think that what it really has to do with is getting the right motion with your right hand and keeping it relaxed and loose in order to get a nice flowing and driving bluegrass rhythm. So let's start with just showing you the basic, bluegrass G chord. A lot of people play a G chord just kind of like this, which is totally cool for lots of things. But I think that for bluegrass generally, you're going to be playing a power G chord, meaning it has no third. And we don't play this third here on the A string, which would be the B note. We'll kind of mute that with the meat of our, second finger here. So that's the G chord that we're going to be using for this whole lesson. And then you can apply these ideas to really any chord. But we're going to be using this G chord. So stage one. Stage one is just a basic boom chuck rhythm. And so the idea behind this is that we're just going to be having an alternating 1-5 bass line, which would be, playing the G off of the 6th string and the D, open D string. And in between those bass notes, we're going to be just doing a downstroke on the 3rd, 2nd, and 1st strings to strike a chord. Now when you strike that chord, you should try to get it as even as possible, meaning you don't want to sweep the chord. You don't want to sweep it like this. You want it to kind of be more of almost the way like a piano chord might sound if you just hit all the keys at the same time. So the way that would sound would be a downstroke starting with the 6th string, followed by the downstroke on the chord strike, and then the open D string, followed again by the chord strike. So what this would sound like in context is this. So that is, the stage one. Is you want to obviously stay in good time. You might want to practice this once you sort of get the feel of it with the metronome to make sure that you're playing right in time. And, just sit there with the metronome going and get it nice and smooth. Once you finish that and you feel comfortable with that, then you move on to stage two. Stage two, really, we're just going to be adding an upstroke on the chordal portion of the pattern. So, we're going to follow each downstroke with an upstroke. So it'll sound like this. And the same thing applies for the upstroke. You want to try to do your best to do less of a sweep and more of a full chord strike. So that would sound like this. Now's a good time to sort of take stock of how relaxed your right hand is. You don't want to be too rigid. You want it to kind of start to feel this motion. And you want to kind of use your wrist. You have kind of your elbow joint and your wrist joint to try to keep things as efficient as possible. And you want to economize your motion, but you also want it to be sort of free flowing. So stage two. I'll slow it down. is stage 2. So once you get comfortable with stage 2, we can move on to stage 3. Again, each stage can be practiced on its own, and you can always back up and go to the other stages. This is designed to be done in steps. So once you've gotten comfortable with stage 2 and you practice with the metronome and you're feeling nice and loose in your right hand, we can move on to stage 3. So in stage 3, what we're going to be doing is adding a small upstroke after our D bass note. So we're playing, so we're hitting that upstroke right before we hit the, and this is like a little bit of a sort of an ambiguous upstroke to me, and it's an upstroke that's going to be sort of centered between the G and D string, the 3rd and 4th string, before you hit the full 3rd, 2nd, and 1st string down up chord strike. So that looks like this. So here's what that sounds like if we can move it around some different tempos. So slow. Let's pick it up a little bit. Keeping your hand very loose. Being relaxed. Once you get it down, this is what it sounds like fast. And then the optional stage 4 is, when you're playing with the bass is going to be covering that 1-5, bass run, bass line. So, you don't really need to accentuate that always so much. So, what it sounds like, you kind of like wash it out. So it sounds more like this when you're actually playing, maybe in an ensemble with the bass. Slow it down. And once you get into more advanced rhythms, there's endless things that you can do as a rhythm guitar player in a bluegrass band or a string band. But this is really just a basic rhythm. It's designed really just to get you started in moving your right hand and getting the feel of this rhythmic pattern that sort of drives a bluegrass band. You hear that and think of it almost like the way a drum would sound. This is what it sounds like. So you hear that driving rhythm pattern. Now I'll add the chord. So I hope this helps you get started with your bluegrass rhythm. As a guitar player, I can tell you that, in bluegrass, playing rhythm guitar is the most important thing that you could learn to do before any soloing or anything else, really. It's your main job is to hold down a good, solid rhythm, and it helps drive the whole bluegrass band. It's really rewarding to play rhythm guitar in a bluegrass band because you have so much influence over the dynamics and the power of the groove. And once you get into more advanced rhythm techniques, you can really get creative with it. But the most important thing is to drop a good solid rhythm to serve the song and support the vocalist, really. And then you can get into soloing and all that stuff later. But I think, when you play good rhythm, then people will want to play with you, because that's really an important part of the foundation of the bluegrass groove. So hope this helps. Thanks for watching. I'll be posting lessons like this somewhat regularly on my YouTube channel. So please make sure that you subscribe to the channel, and happy picking.